Counter-Strike has given us several prodigies that made us rethink what was possible. But Donk isn't simply a prodigy, he is a force of nature.
Yeah, there are no words that seem to adequately and appropriately express just how absurd the arrival of Donk is to the world of Counter-Strike.
He is playing Counter-Strike that is out of this world. We've never seen anything quite like it. The desk is flabbergasted.
The very first time he stepped onto the stage of a massive event, Donk showed everyone that he wasn't just ready to compete, he was ready to dominate.
Everyone, including me, was like, okay, when he gets on stage, sort of the fairy tale would end.
But it didn't end, because Donk goes deeper.
Phase that repel the invaders. Oh dear, Donk with 3.
Так а что я делал? А? Что я делал? Я
плюс нажимал. Они такие смотрят и не понимают, что происходит.
Swings wider.
How does he keep doing it? How? This is unprecedented, eclipsing all who came before him on the grand final stage.
And screams louder than any player we've ever seen. The future is here.
Donk is the truth, Alex. This kid is the real deal.
It's time to adapt or get donked.
Donk be thy name. A star is born.
Okay, so before we dive into the legend of Donk, just want to remind you to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so that you never miss any of our newest content. And if you are as sick of the cheaters in Premiere as I am, then consider joining our FACEIT clan. It's totally free, you get to play with me, your friends, the rest of our community, and most importantly, you get a real anti-cheat. Links in the description. Okay, so Danielle Donk Kryshkovets was born in Russia in 2007 and took to CS immediately. No, literally, he started playing CS so young, it was before CSGO even came out.
When I played CS, I was 4 years old. It was 1.6.
But CSGO was the game that Donk grew up in, became obsessed with, and in 2021 decided to go pro in. Now, if you weren't playing FACEIT pubs in Europe, one of the first places you could have seen Donk shoot his shot was during the summer a couple of years ago at a CIS region tournament called Iron War 2021. Donk was playing as a stand-in for Spirit Academy, and his roster managed to take second place at the event. But Spirit were keen on developing more CIS region players, so they went all in on Donk, giving him a full-time spot on Spirit Academy after Iron War. And Donk quickly established himself as one of the best Academy level players out there.
Donk, bit of a talent, bit of a beast, 15-year-old fragger, and definitely keep your eyes on him in this series. If Spirit were ever going to win, it's going to be off this guy and Art Frost.
You find this first. No, Keels drops. Oh my goodness, Donk, that's ridiculous.
By early 2023, Donk's numbers were eye-catching on their own, but winning CCT West Europe Season 1 and performing as well as he did against teams like Big, Falcons, and Gamer Legion was even more impressive. In May, at ESL EU Challenger League Season 45, Spirit Academy faced off against Apex, a rising roster ranked 9th in the world at the time. Though they had to settle for second once again, Spirit Academy gave Apex a good fight. They seemed like they might be one change away from breaking through against even stronger teams. But instead, Spirit promoted Donk to the main roster. Suddenly, he wasn't a big fish in a small pond, but rather a small piece in a developing puzzle. Team Spirit were on the decline and desperately needed a change, so they also promoted Donk's Academy teammates Zontix and Artfrost.
Помимо того, что Академия показала на протяжении последнего сезона, это в действительности впечатляет, когда у тебя один опытный юнит в команде, это Дима Сотов, и вокруг него ребята так расцвели.
And leading the young stars was Chopper, the team's IGL. While previous Spirit rosters' focus on new prospects didn't exactly work out, he was entrusted with a new class of recruits. But something else was going to shake things up as well: the release of CS2. As the competitive community moved to the new game, Donk had to relearn things about the newest version of a game that he'd played for basically his entire life. Like Kenny S before him, Donk didn't have a lot of time on a tier 1 roster with the version of CS he learned to love, and would need to prove himself on a new one. Now, Spirit saw success at small events in the back half of 2023, but despite the scale of tournaments they were playing in, they did notch a major victory against Virtus Pro, pulling off a massive reverse sweep win at the grand finals of Bet Boom Dacha, a late season tournament held in Dubai.
Another one for Donk.
Oh my God.
3 from the platform. His pistol's gonna be the bane of his existence as he does finally get cleared out of the site, but Magix is here to trot and hold to just push this over the line, and he gets it. The spam through the smoke, it's insult to injury. It is the first reverse sweep in a best-of-5 grand finals.
After the tournament, Spirit also benched Artfrost and brought in Shiro from Cloud9 as their new AWPer, an investment that showed confidence in the lineup's immediate potential.
This is a world-class signing for any team, but paired with Donk?
If Donk could put up numbers against the teams he'd played so far, he had a real chance of doing damage at big events. But Donk wasn't playing with the team at Blast Spring Groups, so his first real chance to prove himself at a big event was IEM Katowice 2024. Now, surely this is where we'd see his limitations. Obviously his numbers looked great, but Spirit rarely played against the absolute top level of talent.
Что ты скажешь тем, кто думает, что осел онлайнер?
Так и есть.
But the doubters were wrong. Against Apex, 18-5, 2.24 HLTV rating.
13-0. We wondered what Team Spirit with Donk and Shiro together would look like, and that is our first taste.
Against the Mongols, 47-33, a 1.47 rating.
And now he will play his hand. Magix is revealed and dealt with immediately, but Shiro is still a threat. The threat that just keeps on denying the Mongols this space, and Team Spirit lock it in the full 30 rounds. They'll be going to the groups.
But that wasn't all we learned about Donk. The rising star was also a bit of a shit talker. He was even warned by admins during play-ins, while others in the pro scene weighed in on his language.
Я не знаю, что ты конкретно кричал, я как бы не слышал.
Короче, фразы «долб***», «хуй», так далее не стоит оскорблять ничего. Если админы уже говорят, это является проблемой.
Screaming itself, I think it's great. They have more personality because I don't think that it's gonna be entertaining watching the sports scene with players who have no personalities.
But despite Donk's performance and confidence, few people actually believed that he had what it took to go much further. After all, it was just groups, right?
Everyone, including me, was like, okay, when he gets on stage, sort of the fairy tale would end, but for some reason he just, okay, look at this, and he performs even better every time.
First, Donk came for Na'Vi.
And as Na'Vi move in, it really is the great unraveling, the beginning of the end, and the start of something new for Team Spirit.
Then he crushed Complexity.
Never even had a chance to stop this hype train because Team Spirit have guaranteed it. They are going to the Spodek.
And at the top of their group, Spirit handled FaZe Clan. Donk went 48-24 in the series against some of the best players in the world.
Looking to keep FaZe in this one, looking to hope for the Spodek semifinal. It's a 10-second stick with a bomb that opens it up. Chopper, battle of the IGLs, he'll end it. And with it, it is indeed Spirit to step forth.
Donk's performance so far was already beyond what anyone expected. But then something strange happened. On February 7th, in between the group stage and the playoffs, Valve released a patch for CS2 that included a ton of changes. And the one that people linked directly to Donk was the reduction to Peeker's advantage. So what did this have to do with Donk? Well, he was consistently taking aggressive aim duels and winning.
He's just shooting very hard. Like, he's very on point. He's not doing anything, like, there's no crazy positioning or rotations. He's just straight up shooting better.
When he gets to decide if or when he fights you on the T side, that you're done. That's it.
And so with his tendency to swing wide, a lot of people asked, would Donk's style be affected?
The update came, and the craziest part is that ESL updated in the middle of the event. This is nuts, because for a couple hours in the middle of this night, the game was broken, like, you couldn't even play.
The discussion continued online, and the patch even got mentioned on the broadcast.
What was your reaction to when the community was saying, oh, this update in CS is going to nerf Donk?
Yeah, they're That's a question I want to pose to you guys, because I see you guys over on socials. I see you. You're saying this is the donk nerf. You're saying he's dead in the water. Do you actually think that's realistically the case with this update, Matthew?
I mean, I think it's pure copium at this point. But what matters is not what I think about it. What matters is what Donk thinks about it. Now imagine he's been steamrolling everybody at this event. He is playing like an absolute superstar. It's phenomenal. What does he think about the current situation?
And while Donk was undoubtedly taking center stage for Spirit, they were making that a conscious part of their strategy, as Maniac pointed out on broadcast.
But they have somehow found a way to let him play the Counter-Strike that he exactly wants, and it makes sense in the grand scheme of things. That you're tapping into this unlimited amount of energy, and you're just putting it into your playstyle, and it works beautifully. And then Shiro comes in, the yang to the yin, the passiveness to the aggressiveness, the sniper behind you. It just works.
But when the time came to test if Donk's skills could be nerfed, the answer was clear. There was no way to avoid getting donked.
He's got the angle on him, making steps. Magic's nose, and Donk wins the clutch. Rotations coming through, and Donk is the first player to arrive. Here's that AK-47. Thank you very much, Boros. Madden cannot stop that peak. Get donked. And the questions about whether the update was going to nerf Donk, well, nope, not yet. Definitely not yet.
Donk put up another incredible performance. Sunpius did his best, but he could not carry his team through the storm that Donk brought to the server.
Sliding in, Donk again. He finds kills with his bomb site whenever he wants them. Falcons will fall to Spirit. They fall to Donk. For the first time, they take those steps. For the first time, Shiro and Donk walk up together.
Just like that, Spirit were headed to the grand finals against FaZe, while Donk casually put up yet another huge 1.64 rating performance. The only thing left to prove was that they deserved to win. Spirit had beaten FaZe 2-0 previously this tournament, but that didn't necessarily mean much on the big stage, playing against a veteran leader like Kerrigan. Spirit took Nuke off the back of Donk's insane outside play and how he ripped FaZe apart on the bomb sites.
Isn't going to be the case, is it? Spirit aren't just going to win the event, and Donk's not just going to be the best player in the world, is he? It really? Is that how this is going to go down? How can you argue with this start? 11-1.
Miraculous triple there, and far enough, a warning shot does Rob, so loses his element of surprise, initiates the plant, and running at them with an MP9, there we have it! Spirit have come to play!
But things got out of hand on Mirage. Suddenly, it looked like FaZe had found Donk's weakness.
Donk looking human in this one as well. Sure, he's found a couple of nice openings, but just kept to 6 kills so far.
But Donk came alive at the end of the half and carried the emotion through to Spirit's CT pistol, and his team rallied behind him.
They execute, here it comes.
They've got the people here, Shiro, Donk. Sharp shooters, good flashes, Brokey's a dead man, and just like that, Donk delivers! Down by Shiro's, it's Donk on the rifle here for at least 2. And he'll find 3. So same as the pistol, suddenly Donk catapulted up to 16 total. Donk beneath him, leaping, it's Brokey! Still one from Magix on the MP, no, how's he got 2? Round defining from Magix.
It stayed close, and Spirit had to try to close out regulation with a poor buy.
Big on the MP9, that scout's still a threat.
The flank is fast.
Hold on, Chopper's doing it all right now. FaZe, they just have to count on Kerrigan and Frozen.
Here comes Zontix.
It's going to end right here unless Frozen can do the impossible. It's 2. 1 away from doing it, Spirit.
But, by comparison, Donk made map 3 look easy. He broke FaZe.
And there's a hush falling over the arena. I think right now it's a little bit sobering. But this was the final boss. This is the big stage team. This is the team that's meant to flourish under the lights. Well, right now, they're shying away from the moment, and Team Spirit.
How does he keep doing it? How? This is unprecedented, eclipsing all who came before him on the grand final stage.
You can see FaZe. They're the ones who are frazzled. They're the ones who are coming apart at the seams.
Team Spirit have done it in 3, and a wave of emotions will flood all 6 on the stage.
Spirit did the unthinkable. A roster led by a young star at his first ever big tournament swept FaZe Clan, a lineup of major champions in a Katowice Grand Final. And Donk's incredible aggression and the system built around it made that happen.
You're champions! The future of Counter-Strike! Team Spirit!
Quite simply, Donk, clearly the tournament MVP, put up what is likely the greatest single performance at a big event of all time, with a 1.7 rating, tying Nico's 2017 record at ESL One New York. But Donk's win is arguably far more impressive. CS today is a lot more competitive than it was in 2017. Plus, Donk did it over more rounds, and at his first ever big event at just 17 years old.
Even though they're equal in rating, I think it's pretty clear who has the best performance. A rookie, a guy who just turned 17 years old, is the best player to ever do it at a tournament.
And becomes the youngest ever to lift the trophy, beating Monassi by a few months, and being the youngest ever MVP of a big event.
So how did Donk do it? Well, you've seen how he plays now. It's clear that things like crosshair placement and aim played a role. And as Elige points out, Donk also gets himself involved as often as possible.
And that's why he's been so consistent. I feel like he's always there when he needs to be there.
He's got great spray control, and he is a terrifying T-side presence.
When he gets to decide if or when he fights you on the T side, then you're done. That's it.
And the team that Spirit is building around him, which is only going to get better the more they play, supports his style. Donk is a singular, unique player. Teams have suggested that they have ways to stop him, but they've yet to prove it on the big stage. Time will tell whether Donk lives up to the potential that his incredible performance at Katowice represents. But one thing is for sure. At that tournament, we witnessed history. Whatever else happens, Donk gave us the most stunning big stage debut of all time. And with a first chapter like that, there are a lot of fans waiting to see where his story goes next.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.